Alright, so this video is about what makes me not a Jeet Kune instructor. Recently, there's a long-time viewer of mine that I met for the very first time, and he asked me that question, and then I decided to videotape my response to that question. Trinity was the one that was videotaping it, and it ended up being almost an hour-long video, but the energy that was put out there in the video was not something that I was happy with, not something that I wanted to share to my audience with. It led to debate, it led to an argument, and there was a lot of passion, and I was speaking very passionately about how I viewed things, and the way that he viewed things was in complete contrast to how I was viewing it, and we were not coming to an agreement. So I decided not to post a video. And then he asked Trinity, why the video wasn't posted. She ended up coming up with a response to that message. And I talked with her about it, for a very long time after the video. And then I continued to talk to her. And based on the message that she responded back with, I was very happy with the way that she responded back. And she was able to just very precisely put down in writing like how I feel about this topic, and it's very professional, very calm, at peace, and that's the energy that I want for this channel. So I decided to have her share that message with you guys, so you guys could get a definite answer to that question, like why I don't teach Jeet Kune.
Yeah, and while I was filming the conversation, there was a lot that I wanted to say. I wanted to chime in, but also I wanted to honor the the space that both Sifu and the supporter, where they could both just get out what it is that they wanted to state, and just be the quiet camera woman in the back. But there was a lot that came up. I could see the perspective of both sides, and being a friend of the subscriber, and I could see where he was coming from. However, also being not only the partner to Sifu, but being his student, and really learning his precepts, and experiencing his expression through training with him, and learning about the history of those who influenced him. Like I could tell him also from an objective point of view, where he was coming from. So I'm really good at taking a step back, clearing my mind, and just putting everything to paper. So I wanted to, when I shared it with Freddie, he wanted me to share with you all. So so I'm just going to read what I've written. Is that okay? Okay, yeah. And then also the subscriber, he just asked if we were going to post the video, because he also said he just wanted to see like where things took a turn, as far as going from being an amicable conversation to like becoming like a debate and a heated discussion. So my response in writing: in the past, Freddie lost so much time doing videos like the one that was done on Friday, and it served no benefit or advancement. There was no positive outcome, and it helped no one. What I thought would be an amicable conversation about the differences in the expression and evolution of martial arts practices turned into a debate/argument about ideals, rights and wrongs, and what seemed to be an attack on the years of work Freddie dedicated to evolving into his discipline. In my opinion, that's when things went awry. We all have our own path of growth and purpose in this life. We all perceive our experiences as only we can perceive them. And fortunately, there is no right or wrong in that, but instead it's differing opinions. And we all have the right to our opinion. There are a plethora of differing opinions on the many expressions of martial arts, what's deemed as sport or not, and what makes art art. And we could end time discussing the many viable or shiesty spiritual beliefs and practices of the billions of people walking this earth. The thing is this: none of us has the right to impose our ideals on others. As we experience this life, the hope is that we will grow, evolving into who we are truly meant to be. Now, it may or may not be for everyone, but what Freddie does and his approach, it does work. It has and continues to be positively impactful and beneficial in the lives of many. And Freddie did, in fact, answer your original question. What makes him not a Jeet Kune Do Sifu is his choice not to take on that label. Instead, he pays respect to his past Sifus and influencers by giving them their credit in how they influenced his life. He further honors them by having continued his discipline daily, making it his lifestyle. Not just something he talks about, but something that he lives and practices. His practice evolved into a newer form of expression. His expression, which is not only based on what he has learned from his influencers and instructors, but also including what he has learned from all the years that he's dedicated to practicing and developing his Kung Fu. And the results? Freddie's modern Kung Fu, or Kung Fu for the sake of Western familiarity. Instead of taking on Bruce's label, he honors Bruce's legacy by abiding by the principle that Bruce admonished, which was to take what you learn, take all that you have learned in life, and develop your own expression, your own Kung Fu. And that's what Freddie has done. So he takes all that he has learned in his teachings and in his training as a kid, and all that he has read about and watched and and learned from Bruce's legacy and what he left through the movies and the videos and the books that he's written from his past Sifus when he was training with them. And he took that and he continued to do that, and he practices daily. And I'm coming as a student right now because I've witnessed it. I watch him train. I watch him around the home. I see him when we're out, and he is always practicing his Kung Fu. And it has become a way of life, not just something that he goes to the gym and do for an hour or two, or just sit down and talk about. He actually lives it. And what he gets, and even the lessons that he gets from life, he brings into the Kune. And we not only learn a fighting style, no, we learn a lifestyle. We learn about meditation. We learn how to practically take what we are learning and to walk out into the world and be a part of society. It doesn't stop at the doors of the Kune. What we learn is about principle and control and relationship. And you see a lot of that in the kids' videos, not just about the fight or the combat. And so, I was really pulled to share this, and it's something that I couldn't share because of course I was the camera person and I wasn't a part of the conversation. But coming from a standpoint where I understand that there are many disciplines out there, and we respect that. I mean, there are different cultures out there, and just because we don't all see eye to eye and see one way of doing things, it does not mean that one way is right or wrong. It just means we all have our way of expression, and it's not bringing harm or doing harm to others. It's not causing destruction. It is the hope that in our expression that it is promoting life and that it is promoting positivity, and it's inspirational and it is helpful, which is something that I feel as the human race, we should strive for. There's so much destruction going on, and it is easy to be a part of the destruction. It has become hard work to remain part of the construction, of the buildup, and we choose to be a part of the buildup of morale, of society, of a person who may be struggling with whatever they're struggling with. And that's the reason why we chose not to post that video, but to post a video like this. You know, so I am thankful for the time of training that I've had. I've been looking for an authentic Kung Fu school for a really long time, and one that is practical and that's relevant to what's going on in the world today. And, you know, and I am thankful also for the history of Kung Fu and for how it has influenced us and has evolved and how it's helped us to grow. And there is a place for all of it. It's just how we choose to perceive and how we choose to live it and how we choose to express it, you know. And in my opinion, I feel that Freddie's done an excellent job. So I thank you. I'm done.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought it was a great opportunity for her to share what she wrote, and I think it just shows so much potential for an understanding of my teachings. See, this was the case, you know, the person is following me for years, but he didn't understand, like, my teachings. And then Trinity has been with me for 3 years, and she understands my teachings. So there's the audience. Some people understand, some people don't. But I'm living now, and I could state that's not correct. This is the way that I view it. So this is happening while I'm living. So imagine what's happening with Bruce. He's not living. There's going to be people that understand his teachings, and there's going to be people that don't understand it. But the difference is he's not alive to say, hey, this is what it really is. And, you know, what she said was very on point with exactly how I see it. She was able to pretty much pinpoint, go straight to the point, very professional, very calm, putting out this message out there to help people gain a greater understanding. But that video the other day was not gonna do that. It was gonna have the opposite effect. So my goal is, from now on out, or since the time I've been back, is to put greater effort into creating an understanding by putting out more quality information out there, positive information, and taking out the negativity, like taking out the negative, you know. And Trinity has a huge impact in my life to help me put out the right energy. You know, when you have the right person in your life, it really makes a huge difference. And I know it's because of her is a big reason of why, you know, we've been able to come to this point, and how my energy has shifted from a negative perspective to a positive. You know, before meeting her, even just recently, I was thinking of a lot of negative things. Don't do this, don't do that, stay away from this. She said, hey, don't put in the negative, put in the positive. So rather than saying don't, talk about what you can do. You know, put out positive energy out there, rather than say don't do negative stuff. You know, so, but I think there was really great time to share that information, because the original intention was to share my response to that question, but it just didn't come out in the right way with the right energy. And then now it's the right energy. We're all calmed down, and we're back to thinking things through and presenting the material properly. And I didn't tell her to write that. She just wrote that on her own, and it just came from her heart. And it's just amazing that I could have somebody be with somebody who actually understands like my approach. This is not an easy thing to understand. It takes a lot of intellectual thought, a lot of study. These are deep concepts, you know, and it's absolutely no disrespect to Bruce and his teachings by saying that I am not a Jeet Kune instructor. Is actually given the greatest respect, because that was what he was teaching. you know, be yourself. And that's what I am. I'm myself. That's why it's Freddie's Modern Kung Fu. And that's why I have my own logo that I created. And these are my videos that I'm creating, my forms, my techniques, my ways that I'm sharing with the world. So, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
And thank all of you for all your support.